Fourth place, the nightmare finishing position for most athletes. When it comes to international competition, the ultimate goal is, of course, first place, as this puts you ahead of anyone else on the planet and earning the gold when it matters the most. But finding your way to the podium at least puts your name on the big screen, and when analyzing the history of such an event, the following silver and bronze medal positions will forever be marked in digital ink online. Finishing in the top 3 is the primary purpose for anyone competing in a world championship event, as bringing home hardware is indeed quite the goal for many. However, what happens to those who just barely miss out? What happens to those who are so close that they only miss out on a medal by the absolute smallest of margins? Are they forgotten? Are they subsequently viewed as underrated? Are they marked as what-if athletes? In 2024, we analyzed the sprinting season of Christian Coleman, a man who at his peak was dominating the World Championships in the 100. From crushing the indoor world record in the 60 to proving himself as one of the greatest 100 athletes in history, Coleman had reached a point in sprinting where he was being considered as one of the greatest ever. But after 2019, his championship moments seemed to betray him. In 2021 for the Tokyo Olympics, he actually missed out due to a whereabouts failure. Following this in 2022, he then finished in 6th place in the world stage in the 100, despite being one of the primary favorites for a medal. Following this finish in 2023, he experienced an eerily similar finish in the World Championship stage in Budapest, as he finished 5th, despite getting a crazy good start in the 100 final. This 100-meter curse, as some might call it, only bled into the 2024 season, and despite hitting some amazing times during this Olympic cycle, his championship season was arguably the most painful and frustrating that he had ever had. For the 100 meters in the national champs, Coleman finished in 4th, finishing in 9.93 and only missing the 100 team by 0.05 seconds. This was a tough finish for a man who had previously been a gold medal favorite on the big stage. However, there was still a position in the men's 4x100 relay for Coleman, as he had earned his start as the opening leg. This put him back on the starting line in the Olympic final in Paris, and given the incredible depth from the Americans, a medal was almost a guarantee. Except it wasn't, because for the first handoff from Christian Coleman to Kenny Bednarek, they were unable to get the baton from the first leg to the second, as Bednarek left a little too early, and there was next to no saving this moment. Despite being on a maxed out 4x100 squad, and despite running incredibly quick all year, Coleman still did not get a single Olympic medal from Paris. From being too young to compete in the 2016 Olympics in Rio, to being unable to compete in the 2021 Olympics in Tokyo, to falling tragically short in Paris, it really doesn't get much worse than this in the 100 meters, right? Except for the fact that it does. Because in 2025, there was one athlete that made one of the greatest comebacks that I have ever seen in sport. And despite setting the track on fire multiple times, proving his resiliency against the world's fastest, he still suffered one of the worst fates that I could imagine. On June 6th of 2025, the world saw Trayvon Bromell win the Golden Gala Diamond League race in Italy, hitting a time of 9.84 seconds to take the win. This was the fastest time in the world for 2025 up to this point, and it was also the fastest time that Trayvon Bromell had run in years. For close to a decade, Bromell had begun to turn his sprinting legacy into somewhat of a what-if story. If we go all the way back to 2014, Bromell became the first junior sprinter to ever break 10 seconds, a trend that would not return to popularity until after 2021. And following this early success, Bromell earned a bronze medal in the iconic 100-meter final of 2015. You know, the race where Bolt and Justin Gatlin ran all the way to the tape, with Bolt winning in 9.79. But back in third, there was Trayvon Bromell, and he had just turned 20 years old. Bromell's rise in the 100 was on par with some of the most hyped athletes the track and field had ever seen. However, following this early career success, he struggled for many years in sprinting. In 2017, his season's best was only 10.22, and in 2018, he didn't even run due to injury. Following this, in 2019, his season's best was only 10.54. It was quite painful seeing one of the most promising young athletes struggle like this. However, because of an injury here and a small setback there, he just could not put a full season together. This extreme halt in momentum was very difficult to see, and for 5 straight years, Bromell really could not find his previous form. But against all odds, he did find some success in 2021 as he ran a 9.76 in the 100 in Kenya, and then in 2022, he won the bronze in the World Champs in Eugene, proving that he was finally back and ready to compete in the big moments. But then, injury sadly took over again. In 2023 and in 2024, Bromell was just not able to put the season together. He stated he had swelling over many parts of his legs, he could not break 10 seconds, and unfortunately, his best time of this Olympic cycle in 2024 was only 10.14, a time that was much slower than what he ran back in 2014. This potentially seemed to be the end of Bromell's career. He was almost 30 years of age, he just couldn't break 10, and it was honestly not looking for one of the quickest athletes in the 100. And just when some had officially given up hope, this 9.84 finally happened. At 9.84 seconds, Bromell not only finally broke 10, but he became the world number 1, and the prospect of him returning to the World Championship podium seemed very high. From running a 9.91 opening 100 in 2025 to winning this Diamond League race in 9.84, Bromell was poised to not only make the world team, but really get some fast times come Tokyo. But as some of you are painfully aware of, this top 3 finish did not happen, and the reason that this did not happen was because of just 0.01 seconds. At the United States National Championships, Bromell was breezing his way through the qualification rounds. He ran a 10.04 in the opening heat, followed by a 10.03 run in the semis, looking smooth in both events and saving sufficient energy for the final. And even though he ran another 9.84, which tied his previous world lead, he somehow still missed on a top 3 position, meaning that he missed the world champs by just 1 single position. This 4th place finish put Trayvon into one of the most frustrating positions imaginable. He was just 1 spot away from a top 3 podium, and given that this was the US Champs, it was just 1 position away from a ticket to the World Championships in track and field. Bromell's career, so far at least, has been characterized by extreme highs, but also very extreme lows. It's amazing to see him when he puts all of his racing together, as he is an incredibly quick starter, and he has very impressive top speed. But it's also very sad to see him when injury prevents him from reaching his potential. But seeing him make this historic comeback like this, just to fall 0.01 seconds away from one of the most competitive national championships in history, I don't know, man. This just seemed like a brutal fate for Trayvon. Now, moving into 2026, Bromell has just turned 30 years old, and despite being a little bit older than most runners now, he still has his sights set for quick times. And with all of this information in mind, I would love to hear from all of you. What do you think is in store for Trayvon and his future in the 100? Do you see him making another championship team? Do you see him getting under 10 seconds more consistently? Or do you think his fastest days are now behind him, and he will likely only get slower as the future unfolds? Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time.